I
So,
know
yeah.
people who listen to the show because they hate you.
Ooh, yeah. All right.
Facts are tracks, but gonna break some vinyl down from the front to the back with facts on tracks.
Welcome to Breaking Vinyl. I'm your host, Des, aka Johnny Fever. And as always, I'm joined by my three co-hosts. First up, the podcaster coming through in high fidelity, Evil Ed. What's up, Ed?
Good. How you doing, Des? How's everybody doing out there? Hope well.
All right, and the podcaster playing the deep cuts, B-side Dave. What's up, Dave?
Hey.
All right, nice to have you back. And last but not least, the podcaster with the degree in rock and roll, the Freakenstein. What's up, Fee?
Not much. Hey, everyone. Hope you're all well.
You sound excited for this one. And as always, the mission of this show is for us to introduce each other and you, the listeners, to albums and bands which you may never have heard before, while also discussing the classics. And on occasion, we will ruthlessly insult each other's musical taste. I have a feeling there might be some of that tonight. So sit
Without a
back
doubt.
and enjoy the show. Okay, boys, before we get started, I would like you all to put your balls into this Mr. Big purse because you will not need them for tonight's episode. Okay, everybody, got your balls in the
Oh,
purse.
you're out of
Okay,
your mind.
I'm going to put that behind the counter so you'll all get your balls back after the show. Tonight, we will be discussing Mr. Big's second studio album, Lean Into It, produced by Kevin Elson, released on March 26th, 1991 on Atlantic Records. The album peaked at number 15 on the Billboard 200 and did have a number one hit on the Hotboard 100. Okay. The lineup's band was as follows: Eric Martin, lead vocals, the great Paul Gilbert on guitar, the great Billy Sheehan on bass, and the great Pat Torpey on drums. Let's do a quick band fact rundown on this. I'll give you the first one. What I got is the album artwork itself came about through a twist of fate. The band was out at a restaurant for the big reveal to see the artwork photo, and they thought it was awful. It featured a girl wearing a 50s bathing suit, wearing shoes with short heels. The band thought anything would be better than that. On the wall in the restaurant was a photo of a train wreck. They thought, that'd be better than that. And they ended up using it. And I think that the album cover is maybe the best part of this album. It's a pretty good cover.
Oh,
Dave, what do you got for facts on Mr. Big's Lean Into It?
All right. That photo is actually an 1895 train accident that occurred in Paris.
Oh, cool.
The album was ranked number 49 on Rolling Stone's list of the 50 greatest hair metal band albums of all time. Excuse me.
Oh, boy. Really?
And in 2021, the band put out a 30th anniversary deluxe reissue set of this album.
Ooh. Christmas gifts. Everybody knows what I want.
Some toilet paper.
Okay, keep
Next.
going. Okay. Ed, what facts do you have on this gem?
well, I could have written a novel
Please don't.
because this is a fantastic album, and you're going to learn why.
Oh, I'm not.
All right. So the name Mr. Big was taken from a track on Fire and Water by the band Free from that album, Fire and Water.
Interesting.
Another interesting fact, Billy Sheehan originally planned to finish the band out after Eric Martin joined with Steve Stevens and Greg Bissonette.
Oh, a couple of names we've heard in the past.
Yeah, it was basically, it's kind of when Billy left the David Lee Roth band, he was under the assumption that Greg Bissonette was going to leave, and he kind of wanted to team up with Steve Stevens, but Steve Stevens was sticking with a different side project he was doing. Unfortunately, I forget the name of it at the moment.
Was it Vince Neil?
Dave might remember.
Or Atomic Playboys, maybe.
Yes, I think that's what it was, Atomic Playboys, yeah. So, that's what I'll give you for now.
Okay. And Fee, can I get your facts on this album?
Not many facts. I just, just kind of doing some base research on it. Like, I get why these guys are on the like big in Japan list. Along with some bands like Extreme and Dokken that tend to be bigger in Japan. I don't know the validity of the story, but the Eric Martin was going to try
Great
out
story.
for Van Halen. Is that a true story?
To my understanding, it is.
Wow.
So
And he runs in. Go ahead. Yeah. So the short version is Eric Martin runs into Sammy Hagar on the airport in LA while he was going to try out for Van Halen. And Sammy's like, "Don't bother, I already got the gig." So he never went to the tryout, and Sammy ends up with the gig. So,
cool story.
in Van Halen. But I don't know the validity of it, but it was I kind of chuckled a little bit when I read it. So,
What's funny about that story is I think that this guy kind of sounds a little bit like Sammy Hagar on this album.
Yeah.
Like a kind of hopped up, like metal, Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
So let's do some opening thoughts on this one. I'll start it off. So I have no history at all with this album except for the one hit, "To Be With You," which was literally everything I hated about hair metal back in the day when it was released. I saw this and I was just like, oh, fuck, this is the end. I can see the end coming for this whole genre. But I have to acknowledge this before we get started. Their individual talents as musicians, the excellent production of this album, it can't be questioned. I mean, it can't. This is fucking Paul Gilbert. I mean, he taught guitar at the highest level. This is Billy Sheehan. I mean, as much as I'm going to get into this singer, I mean, the guy can sing. He just can. And the drums are amazing. So my problem isn't with the production or with the execution on this album. But did I like it? Buckle up, kids. It's going to get rough. Dave, what are your opening thoughts and memories of this album?
All right. Well, being a guitar player, I already knew about Paul Gilbert and, of course, Billy Sheehan's bass playing with the David Lee Roth Band. Had their first album on cassette, and it was all right, Addicted to That Rush. Seems like this one they concentrated a little bit more on songwriting. I got my hands on this and spun it pretty good throughout my senior year of high school. In the mix with, Van Halen and Kiss and Queen. July 25th, 1992, Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. I saw Mr. Big live with the Electric Boys opening. It was excellent.
I saw that same tour. Oh, my God.
Holy shit, Dave, you paint quite a picture.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like it. Okay. And Ed, you have listened to this front to back, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes.
On your way to Nantasket? Okay, let's
On
hear
my
it.
way to Nantasket, yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so this album really just solidified to me why Mr. Big was bringing music to where it needed to be again. We got to remember, at this point, it came out in 91, so there were so many shitty bands out there, so many garbage bands. At that point, all your friggin' heroes at this point were putting out pure garbage because they were all fucked up on every drug that you can imagine, forgot how to play their instruments, and just put on a good party. And that's all people wanted. And I get it. It's fun to party. But then this album came out, and it was as much as I love their opening album, I think it was such a step up in musicianship, where it brought back, this is how you play an instrument. This is how you play it in a band without stepping on each other's toes. And it kind of made the pop rock, hair rock, whatever you want to call it, it put the bands to shame that were back, that were at that point. And think about it. Mr. Big kept going from this point, all while grunge was destroying everyone else. So that is my opinion on this. As well as, so actually, there was one fact that I forgot to bring up earlier, too. So I met Billy Sheehan a couple times. I've actually also met Eric Martin. I went to a bass clinic with Billy Sheehan at Daddy's Junkie Music across from Berklee College of Music in Boston. Mm-hmm. And Billy tells this story of when Mr. Big was opening for Rush in 1990. And he goes, yeah, he's like, I'm sitting there and I'm sitting out in the fields at this outdoor venue with Geddy Lee. And Geddy Lee looks at me and he goes, "You guys are fantastic. This is the first time we've ever seen girls in the front row of a Rush show."
Oh,
And
shit.
I just couldn't stop laughing. And he goes, "Yeah, well, we have a pretty singer, so."
Oh, God. Yes, they did.
I just thought
Yes,
it was a great story.
Fee, have you ever heard this album front to back before preparing for this podcast?
If I did, it wasn't intentional. It was from probably hanging out with Ed.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Ed, do you think that Winger was also saving the rock and roll scene?
Nope, but I do appreciate their music.
You would. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into
Yeah,
this
because
album.
shall we review your scores of some previous albums he does?
No time. Here we go. Track number 1 with the pretentious title, Daddy Brother, Lover, Little Boy. Wow, that's a mouthful of bad fucking song title. Ed, give us your thoughts on Daddy Brother, Lover, Little Boy.
All right out of the gate, great opening tune. Absolutely great. I mean, it friggin' kicks you in the face. All right, super high energy groove. The musicianship, the vocals, the production really set the bar for the rest of the album, in my opinion. All the little accents from each band member, all the little accents they do, it fits the song so well. They're not overplaying on top of each other where they're trying to take away. They're overplaying to complement each other, and it works great. The solo, all I can say is fuck you. It is fantastic. And I've seen them do this live, and they do it exactly. I mean, it was the same tour Dave saw. I mean, would you agree with me? I mean, live, they pull that solo off with the drills. So.
Oh, yeah.
And what's funny is, everyone made this big deal about Pound Cake when Eddie Van Halen did it because the album came out a little later. All Eddie did was just a little friggin' noise and run it up and down the guitar. These guys actually played their guitars with the drills. It was fantastic. But the song overall, I think it's well written. I think the breakdown, it's broken down into parts really well, and each part of the song, I think is just great. Love the song.
Okay, so the album opened up, and I want to tell everybody, I listened to this album twice, and I really tried not to go into it with bias from my memories of the day. I can't deny the production is great, and I like the very, very, very intro before the song actually started. I was like, oh, cool. I fucking hated the lyrics on this song and the entire album. The lyrics, they mean nothing. They're written about nothing. They're just generic 80s, 90s hair metal. And I've quoted some on this podcast, which I will sing to you. I hated the lyrics. I hated the way the guy delivered it. Can he sing? Of course he can sing at a very high level. Do I hate his vocals and his lyrics? Yes, all day long. Because he has nothing to say. There is nothing on here of any substance that tells a story about his life or anything that means anything about anything. It's like some guy in a suit could have written the lyrics for this album in fucking Atlantic fucking Records.
Oh my God.
So the solo is completely wrong for this song. Completely. It just doesn't even fit the song. We're back to fucking Eat 'em and Smile again. Like, why are you playing this? Like, we all know you're a virtuoso. Like, play a song that matches a solo that matches the song. I did like the bridge of the song. I thought the change was really good. I thought the melody was really good, but the vocals were just ridiculous. Dave, what did you think of this first track?
All right. I thought it was a good opener. According to the liner notes, Daddy, Brother, Lover, Little Boy, subtitled The Electric Drill Song, features Gilbert and Sheehan running Makita cordless drills over their guitar strings in harmony. They attached picks to the end of the drill in harmony to create an unusually fast solo, which is likely not possible to replicate with hands. I looked into it. This album came out to about 3 months before the Van Halen record, where he uses the drill on Pound Cake. I think Mr. Big was doing the drill in the live shows before that. I don't know what it means, but I feel like it was a case of having a good idea at the same time rather than somebody ripping somebody else off.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, song's lyrical content, you mentioned that, Des, is kind of thin. Do the horizontal mile. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh God, it's fucking
Um,
anorexic, Dave. Finn.
the solo section is the real meat of the song to me.
Oh God. All right, Fee, please bring it home.
Well, for starters, like lyrically, I think this song should put you on an FBI watch list. This is terrible,
Yes.
fucking terrible. Like, just to bring it back, I was a little off with the Watt score thing last week, so I'm trying to do it track by track. This song got a 0 for me, like a 0. If I could have given it negative, I would have. Like I want it off my phone, so I'm not being fucking spied on by the FBI. I don't like it at all. Nothing. Total fucking creepers. Like, yeah, but I'm with you guys for the rest of it. They can all play, they can sing, they can do everything, but that, like, nope, not for me. Not this song.
I'm sorry.
Don't get me wrong.
Who's your favorite artist right now?
Rat.
No, Ellie Goulding.
Man.
Shut the fuck up.
Man, what? Hey,
Okay.
Look, we're not talking about, you want to go into different genres, everything like that. We can do that. But talking about this album, hear about
Yes.
whatever.
We're talking
This
about
lyric
this
here.
album, and Fee,
Awful.
I have fucking tears in my eyes with the fucking FBI thing. I'm sweating.
Here's the funny thing that is totally
Oh.
like people probably either haven't realized this or should have realized this. I find it comical that Desi is hyper focused on lyrics. I'm hyper focused on music, and Dave is the happy in between guy for both of those because they both kind of matter the same. At least my opinion. Dave analyzes them both very well, but it's kind of so funny how Des and I are polar. I don't even read the lyrics. I don't pay attention to the lyrics ever. If it's a good melody with good harmonies, that's what I'm looking for. The words, what it says, don't give a shit.
Right. So I think that's important, and why I asked feedback, because I think it's important to have a opinion of someone that listens to music. It's not a musician and
No,
just
I agree.
listens
No,
to
it's
music
great, yeah.
and listens to songs. And I think that a lot of our listeners are going to identify with the way he's hearing music. So
I
like
disagree
that
because
everybody's got their own opinion.
he is wonderfully neurotic, just like you.
Yeah, well, so far I like his taste in music. Okay. And I want you to notice how I've set up the discussion today. It's Ed backed with me and Dave
Yes,
backed with
yeah.
Fee,
Because he
and
knows.
Fee killing this album last. So I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'm well aware of how you just did that. Yes.
Okay. So track 2, Alive and Kicking. And it was funny because when I wrote it down, I had Alive and Chicken, but I fucking realized I had written it wrong and fixed it. So, Ed, talk about Alive and Chicken.
All right. Opening guitar lick is absolutely great in my opinion. Again, the music just is fantastic. I especially love the ending notes that create this like minor sound, and it just for something about it just clicks for me, gives me a little tingle in my pants. Great drum fill to kick in. You don't like that minor sound right at the oh my god, dude, that's for someone who likes dirty, greasy sound.
I did.
Yeah.
I fucking did. I liked
You're
it.
just hating to admit anything good.
No,
about
I'm not. I liked it. Go ahead. I liked it. It was a
it's
good
a really
sound.
nice blues rock groove. It's different than what the first song is. So right off the bat, you're like, okay, it's not going to be Rat where everything was produced and sounded the exact same on purpose. It's and that's not a shot at Rat. It's a shot at the overproduction of everything at that time period. I really like the callback on the vocals in the pre-chorus ending with that fat chord over the drum rhythm with the cowbell. Overall, the song, another song written for the song, not an individual. I thought all the parts were really well in this. If there's one negative that I'd bring up, it's the rhythm music behind the solo. In the solo, it didn't work for the rest of the song, in my opinion. However, the transition out of the solo back into the chorus, I thought worked really well. And what kind of surprised me, I never heard it before until I had it with headphones. there are these claps at the end that are on the 4-beat of the chorus that I was like, holy shit. And it just, I don't know, it was a pleasant surprise that I kind of was like, oh, it's nice to hear little things like that. So.
All right. So this song immediately reminded me of a Van Hagar song, Van Halen with Sammy Hagar in it. Only not as good. His voice inflection had me wanting to listen to some Sammy Hagar. Paul Gilbert, he just overplayed on this in the wrong way again. I mean, this is a cool chicken picking song. You're getting the chicken picking, you're getting the fucking that groove. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then he plays this like shred fusion solo. It's just like, dude, we fucking get it. It doesn't work here. You should have played us some like Southern picking, kicking chicken solo that worked for the song and show us that you can play more than just fucking shred fusion. It's like, it's just such a mistake. I just didn't like it. I did like the transition, Ed, like you said, from the solo to the chorus. I thought that was cool. But it's funny because there's going to be a couple of times on this album where they will try that same move and it doesn't work. And it brought me back to the Rat album where I was like, if it was kind of a harsh or a kind of a transition that just felt a little lunky, they would write a little piece of music that would make it flow better. And I felt like this band should have done that in a couple of spots where it felt shoehorned in. So yeah, I mean, this song, it wasn't terrible, but I didn't love it at all. Dave, what did you think?
Yeah, greasy groove on this one reminds me of 70s classic rock a little bit. Good playing, a little bit of cowbell, big vocals, big bass sound. I liked the solo. I thought it was cool. But I feel like the breakdown slowed it down a little bit, kind of killed the momentum of the song.
Yeah. Dave, so you hit the nail on the head. It did feel like a 70s song to me. And that's why I immediately kind of liked it when I heard it. And the singer was laying back a little bit, trying to do a little Sammy Hagar thing and maybe step back from his fucking like insane 80s metal singer thing that he was doing. And then again, it's like Paul Gilbert. Where does this guitar solo belong in a 70s sounding song? It's like, read the room, guy. Read the song.
That's his thing. That's what he does.
What did you think of? Oh, well, he shouldn't. What did you think of Alive and Chicken, Fee?
This is one of the 2 or 3 songs on this album that I actually kind of like.
Okay.
And, just to go back a little bit, I went into this hoping to find something that I could like add to the library, And Ed, you had mentioned something last week on the Rat cast about if you liked it then, you like it now, or if you didn't like it then, you probably wouldn't like it now. You know what I mean? And this kind of is what that album did to me. I didn't like it really then, and I don't really like it now outside of a couple catchy tunes. This is one of them. Big energy. I'd love to see this song live. I bet this song killed it live. Like, I bet this was like show-stopping live. Like, this was it. One of the things I wrote, I don't know, the lead into the solo was a bit showy for me. I don't know, but the solo didn't really fit at all. But like you guys, I do like how they came out of it. Just really great live. And Ed, I heard that clap too, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. And then I started asking, is it necessary? But it's interesting. But is it necessary? I don't know. This is one of my higher rated songs on the album. But like, overall good. I'd love to I'd go see these guys live just to see how they do this song.
Definitely a great live band.
I'm with you, Fee, on that. This was one of the 2 songs that I thought was like listenable. And I think, again, you make a great point. This is a band that I probably would enjoy a lot more live because I would be sitting there watching these technicians do their thing. And I wouldn't be thinking, this solo doesn't fit in the song. I'd be sitting there going, holy shit, Paul Gilbert fucking shreds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. All right. God, dude, the names of these songs, too, I was just rolling my eyes. Green Tinted 60s Mind. And it doesn't sound anything like the title. Like, I'm expecting some, like, cool psychedelic 60s rock thing. What? Yeah, Green Tinted 60s Mind.
Oh, my God.
Ed, what do you think of this song?
The opening guitar riff is quite possibly the most unique riff ever written.
Oh
I mean,
God! Oh,
what? There's nothing you can say that would offset or present that would just overtake it, in my opinion.
I
That guitar part is phenomenal. Why don't you learn it and then tell me how
I don't want to learn it. I don't want to learn
exactly?
it.
Because you're a fucking
Well,
hack.
I want to learn all along the Watchtower before I learn this. This is terrible.
Yeah,
You know,
and
wait,
it's
go.
what?
Go.
right.
My opening note is, oh fuck, I hated this guitar intro. That's the 1st
You're
thing I
out of
wrote.
your mind. It's fantastic.
It's garbage.
It is so different than anything that I've ever heard. For an opening, it's just such a great smooth riff. And the way he slides up on that hammer-on to that higher note is fucking fantastic. Lyrics and vocals, I think this is one of the few songs that I've actually read the lyrics and I love them.
Oh my God.
And the groove is badass. This song inspired me to be a better musician. The band I was in at the time, actually not at that time, band later that I was in, we learned the song. And we did it pretty good. The problem was the key was just, we couldn't sing the high harmonies on a consistent level because it's just up there. Holy shit. His voice is just so high. Personally, though, I think this song is one of the most unique songs written definitely for that time. It wasn't, everything was so generic back then. And then this riff came out and you were just like, what the fuck?
Wow, man, I'll tell you, perception is everything, isn't it? Everybody sees the world differently and hears
Yep.
everything differently. This is why we do this, because so you love this guitar intro. My first note was, oh fuck, I hated this guitar intro. This like finger tapping harmonic, just hated it. And then my next note was, and you said you actually read the lyrics and liked them. My next note was, and the vocals and lyrics in this chorus are cringeworthy.
Nope.
Coming out of the solo back into the chorus just didn't work. It needed a transmission. I fucking hated this song. Those are my notes. Dave, what did you think of Green Tinted 60s Mind?
Well, it starts with what I think is a great guitar tapping lick.
Okay.
I always wanted to learn to play it. When I was at Berkeley, there was a guy I knew who could actually do it. I, kept trying to get him to teach me how to play it. And, I just couldn't pick it up. So I'm going to have to go back to that one day and try to figure it out. But I liked the melodic solo a lot. I thought it was tasteful, and I liked the song.
That's awesome. So for your listeners that didn't know, Dave did go to Berkeley. Dave, did you graduate from Berkeley?
I graduated, but technically did not get my degree. I'm actually working on finishing my degree right now.
Still very impressive. Tip of the hat to you, sir.
Thank you.
Fee, please give us your thoughts on Green Tinted 60s Mind.
Okay, Des, you're not gonna like this. But don't worry,
Okay.
I got you on the rest of the album. But
Okay, go.
My notes here: cool intro, really nice sound. Like I liked it. Dave, like you were saying, the chorus very melodic. Just catchy. I don't know. I liked it. I enjoyed the song. But now that you mention it, Des, coming out of that solo, yeah, they probably could have done something to transition out of that a little bit differently. Like it just seemed really smooth. Like there was not like I don't know, something could have changed on that. But I thought vocally this is one of the better songs on the album overall for the entire band. Good song, ended well overall. I just enjoyed it. Like I'm not adding it to any playlist or anything, but if it comes on the radio, I probably won't skip it.
Track number 4, CDFF.
Yes.
What does that mean, CDFF?
CD fast forward, because that is actually that.
Perfect.
Finally,
So-
something that makes sense on this album.
So the beginning of the song that you hear the song super fast,
Yeah.
that is actually their song "Addicted to That Rush" off their first album. Just played at a very high speed. Or
I don't know how I missed that.
Great guitar tone, but very mid-tempo song. Adds more variety to the band. Again, so far I don't think any of the 3 songs could like sound very similar. The tones might be similar, but like tempos and riffs, I think are definitely different, which I definitely appreciate, especially at this time, because every album at this time was stamp, 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 stamp. And this was not. Great vocal harmonies, and the music in the pre-chorus and chorus fits so well with the slower rock verse, so I appreciate it.
So we're going to finally come together on a song. I also noticed that we finally get a guitar sound with a little attitude here. I was like, all right, that's a good sound in guitar right there. And Paul finally puts together a killer guitar solo that fits the song. I was like, all right, there you go, bud. Took you 4 songs, but you're rolling now. But I don't love the song. It's just generic. And it's not bad. It's not like it's like, oh, this song is terrible. Again, he's just got nothing to say. Like, I just don't fucking remember what he was talking about in any of these songs, except like, strawberry kisses and, fucking high heels and long legs. And it's just like, oh, shut up. Shut up. Do you have any life experience? Did you ever fucking do anything in your life that you could write a song about that's interesting? Like, shut up. Shut up. Dave, go ahead.
Well, I listened to this and I thought my CD player was broken. But no, that was just a song.
You have a CD player?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
I could do without that part. I don't. The song was written by Jeff Paris. I don't really remember this song from back in the day. Like you said, it is kind of generic. I thought the vocal was great. Guitar was a little buried, especially in the solo. I feel like they could have, goosed that up a little bit.
Yeah, Dave, I agree. I noticed that his best solos, you couldn't hear him. It was almost like he was ashamed he wasn't doing fucking shred fusion. He was like, it's a little too cool in rock and roll. Let's turn that down a bit. What's he doing? Fee, what did you think of this one?
Okay, so my first note on this is it's just okay. It seems like a cheesy movie soundtrack type song to some like slightly edgy, shitty rom-com in the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't have much on it. I kind of like the vocals in it though. Like not the lyric, but the vocals. And I'm just getting the feeling at this point that like most of the songs are about some like desperate guy begging for a girl,
Yeah.
It just doesn't do a lot for me. But like vocally was another cool one. I really do love this guy's voice, and like all of these guys' voices, like they're pretty good. I wish there were some different songs they went with, I guess, but like musically all these guys are amazing. But I don't know.
I gotta interject here real quick because I met Eric Martin once. It was at a small little venue. We did a little solo show with some hired guns as a band, and did a meet and greet after. Just everyone just could meet up with them and chat. And the line was moving pretty quick until me, my wife, and my buddy Bill got there. I don't know what had happened before, but as soon as we met him, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is Dez. He is exactly like Desi. He is uber hyper. He talked and wouldn't let me go. I was like, is this guy scared of someone? Because he's like, I'm like, okay, I gotta go. We literally sat and chatted for probably like 15 minutes. Like everyone else in line was sitting there with their arms crossed. Bullshit, how long I'm doing it. And I'm the one trying to leave.
Oh, shit.
Please help me.
Yeah, I was like, this guy might be in trouble.
Oh my God.
But oh my God, yeah, he reminded me of you, Des, with just his personality, which is why I would love this, like, to do a podcast with the two of you just back and forth would be hysterical.
3 hours, 45 minutes.
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So track 5 on this one is Voodoo Kiss. That's a cool title, right? I mean, we got a lot of voodoo. I like it. Ed, what'd you think of this one?
Again, I'm just a fan of this album. I really like the blues acoustic guitar intro, and then the music kicking in. The bass chord at the end of each music line is just it fills it so nicely. I really think it makes it fat and layered. The little guitar lick throughout underneath, I think it's a nice, dirty, greasy riff, especially during the verse. I really enjoyed it. This song oozes groove, I think. I feel like it can't stop. I feel like it's a big climax. Like just when you think you're done, you're like, no, it's still there. It's still there. And I really appreciated that. The change in the solo, I think really levels off the musicianship for me. So.
Yeah, we haven't really talked much about Billy Sheehan and this drummer. I mean, they're great on this. And, one thing I noticed about Billy Sheehan on this album that I missed on the Eat 'Em and Smile album is he's playing a lot looser on this. He's giving us a lot more runs. He's backing up Paul Gilbert during these guitar solos with some accents that are like almost like little bass licks, where when he was playing behind Steve Vai, he was really just playing very straight. And they pop off the album. I'm like, oh, that's a great little lick, and it's really working with what Paul Gilbert's doing. So yeah, tip of the hat to that. I don't think I'm talking about it just because it was just so good. I mean, it didn't stand out. So this song was musically okay. I mean, Paul is overusing this Zakk Wylde squeal. Like it's the exact Zakk Wylde squeal. And he does it on every single song. And the first time he did, I'm like, oh, cool, the Zakk Wylde squeal. And then I was like, oh, Zakk Wylde. All right, again. The rhythm section is amazing. I mean, these guys are masters of their individual crafts, but the song is just blah. And when the singer made the kiss sound at the end, I literally fucking ripped my headphones off. I threw them down on the couch, and I literally had to take a time out. He went, I went, nope, that's it. Time out. I had to take a time out. So, yeah, that's what I thought of that Voodoo Kiss. Dave, what did you think?
Well, massive kick drum on this song.
Yeah.
The song was just okay. I got a lot of Take Your Whiskey Home influence, from Van Halen. Well, my baby, she don't want me around.
Yeah.
A lot of that vibe.
Yeah. Fee, Voodoo Kiss.
With Ed on this a little bit, funky intro. I like how everyone came in, and then the verse starts, and my note is just ugh. Like I don't know. I didn't enjoy the verse, but everything else, everything else I kind of did was kind of funky and cool, and like there was a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of good musicianship I felt, but yeah, in the end, I just don't know that I would listen to this song again. And you're right, Des, that kiss at the end was just like, oh, fuck it. I'm done. Next.
I'm done.
Next.
Dude, your fucking inflections are killing me today. I don't know. He sounds so violated. All right. Track number 6. Never Say Never. Ooh, how creative. Ed, what do you think?
This is my least favorite song on the album. So
it makes two of us.
Yep. I think it's an uneventful riff. Almost sounds amateur compared to the rest of the tracks. But then, you know what? I really like the vocal harmonies before the chorus. Like I like the build on it. It was really good. But then it kind of anticlimaxed for me. But I do love the groove with the bass and drums in the chorus. But overall, I think the song lacks a hook. And this kind of. To kind of piggyback on what you were saying about Billy Sheehan and Pat, they really are very underrated on this album. I think they did perfect where they carried the groove where they had to carry the groove and then added their little fills and show-offs where it needed to happen. And kudos to them for that, because the whole album is like that. They're just super great. But it's not up to the previous songs. It was the letdown, I think, of the album is this song.
So this is not my least favorite song on the album, and I'll tell you why. I think it's the worst produced song on the album, but I don't think it's my least favorite. Because it reminds me of a broken generic version of another song that I actually like. This is a broken generic version of St. Elmo's Fire by John Parr. It just is. I mean, listen to them side by side. It's just a bad version of that. And I do like that song, St. Elmo's Fire. So
it's a great song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this isn't. So that's all I have here. Dave, what'd you think of this tune?
Yeah, song was just okay. I feel like the album's really kind of dipping at this point. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't as good as I remembered it. Um, layered guitars. I thought the chorus was good. They had a little key change in there. I could really do without the whoa 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 vocal at the end. That
Big
was that was a no go for me.
Oh, Fee, what did you think? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let us have it.
Yeah, not good. Well, Dave, let me ask you this: are you just talking about this song, or are you talking about the album as far as dipping or not as good as you remembered it?
The whole album overall.
Okay, interesting. I'd like to get Ed's take on that, but personally, yeah, this one, I don't know, like a couple notes, cool intro, but the chorus didn't really fit for kind of the heaviness of the rest of the parts of the song. Um, another shitty movie soundtrack kind of song for me. Another guy begging for a girl.
A lot of begging.
The solo was just not quite right. I felt. I don't know. Like nondescript. This song, not good.
I agree with everything you said. Track 7, Just Take My Heart. Again, just take my heart, because I'm just such a wuss. Just take my heart. I know your cool girlfriend. I know your cool boyfriend just dumped you, that cool guy, but I'm here. I want to love you. I have a heart. Take
So
it.
yeah,
Just
so
take
let's
it.
see. It was 1991. What was on the radio? Power
don't know.
ballads. That's
Oh,
what was on
God.
the radio.
Oh,
So this is the first ballad on the album.
no excuse. Go ahead.
Another guitar opening, but it's enjoyable. I kind of wish there weren't so many songs that open with the guitar. I wish, maybe there was more of a drum opening to different songs, stuff like that, a little groove that the guitar then kind of drove in on. But, it is what it is. Song comes in and you have this beautiful and soulful guitar and a soulful bass line that is more of a lead underneath it. And I like the way it worked. Normally I don't. Normally these things bug me, but especially like the one knock that I will always have on Billy Sheehan is his tone is atrocious. It is so MIDI, I can't stand it. And that's because I stood in front of his amp lot, literally 8 feet from his amp at a show. And I was like, holy shit. First off, it's too loud and there are no lows or highs. It's just all mids. But I do like the way it worked in the beginning of this song. I thought for a ballad of this time period, I thought it was a nice change of pace. It wasn't those friggin' shitty ballads that were just all power ballads and no variety. It was normally the stuff back right then at the end of the Here genre was all cookie cutter. And I thought this was a nice departure from it. I think the music is well done. The guitar carries a melody while the bass is accenting at all the right moments. The drums kick in, big chorus harmonies. I think there's a lot of layers to the chorus harmonies as well that I enjoyed. The bass is a very prominent lead role, but it doesn't overpower and it fits well. And I think that was definitely something that very few bands did back then. The drums are rock solid in this. The guitar solo fits the song, but it's not a show off in my opinion. And then it's the typical key change and layers at the end. That kind of was you had to do kind of back then at this point in time.
Ed, you would think you and I sat down and wrote our notes together, but went out of our way to make completely different notes, like polar opposite first. So my notes for this song open up with, why can't Paul Gilbert just play some simple fucking acoustic guitar? I get it. You're a virtuoso. Sometimes less is more. And I cut this piece of shit intro right out. I don't want, you're trying to write this fucking song. And again, you got to give us like, oh, look, I can play an acoustic guitar. Like, it's like, dude, just fucking play a nice riff, please. So I cut this intro, and these lyrics are like some horrible, demented version of Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Like only 10 times.
How dare you include that in this fucking conversation?
First of all, as cheesy as
that
song is
to ever make it big, Poison.
Dude, as cheesy as Every Rose Has a Thorn is, it is fucking like, crushes this piece of shit into dust. Like, you could muster a tear up for that song before this. This song is terrible. These words are terrible. His delivery is terrible. It's all stolen from Every Rose Has Its Thorn, only just not as good or catchy with any chorus. It's fucking terrible. When he sings it in his bizarre Kenny Loggins voice, I didn't like it at all. This is trash. Dave, what did you think of Just Take My Heart and Flush It Down the Toilet?
Right. I did like the intro. I thought it was a gorgeous, clean guitar tone.
Yeah.
I thought it was really nice. Classic 1991 style power ballad. Fourth single off the album, big key change. I didn't mind the song, but it's kind of, you could argue for that cheese factor there. Billy Sheehan played a 6-string bass on this one. He usually only plays a 4, but got that little extra bass range.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need like a bunch of extra shit in my soft, gentle, loving ballad. Like, can we get like a 15-string bass in this? And hey, Paul, can you like finger tap on that 12-string acoustic? I think that would be soulful.
Shall we revisit some of your albums?
No, we're here to talk about this album.
And some of your notes on your albums that you thought were fantastic.
This is like when I got called into the office in high school for having "Eat Me" tattooed on my shoulder. We're not talking about him. We're talking about you today. Well, fuck you. All right, Fee, what did you think about Just Take My Heart and Flush It Down the Toilet?
That's kind of how I felt about it. But I think I feel that way about the category in general of the power ballad these days. Like
I agree.
I just can't listen to them anymore at all. Not that I don't know. We were just fucking dumb when we were young,
Yeah.
Like that's really it. To think any of those things were enjoyable. That was terrible. But as far as this album as a whole, I thought this was the one song that was as close to like a hair band song as on the whole album, as closer than any of the other. This is the one song that kind of said, okay, this is exactly like every other hair metal band's power ballad, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It wasn't
power ballads
for
are just
me.
gross. They're not good.
It wasn't for me. These power ballads are supposed to be simple. They're supposed to be like fucking crack. You're supposed to hear this piece of shit once and you can't unhear it. I don't even remember what this song sounded like. I couldn't hum you one note of this song, and I listened to it twice.
So what about this band do you think makes them part of the hair band genre, other than the fact that everyone had long hair back then?
Because they look like their fucking girlfriends dressed them?
I'm sorry. Desi, shall we bring up a picture of you?
Dude, that picture's cool. Those fucking
No,
pants are
that is
LA.
the gayest thing I've ever seen, Des.
Fuck you, I look cool in that picture.
Oh my God. I would probably commit suicide if that picture ever existed.
I love that picture. You should see the rest. You should see the rest of the band. You should. I'll include a picture of the rest of the band for you guys.
Yeah. All right.
The whole thing.
But yeah, I wouldn't. This came out at the hair band time, but I would not call this a hair band album because these guys are too good of musicians.
Dude, this is a hair band album. Don't fool yourself.
Isn't that the whole point of this? Like, I felt this whole album was just really showcased everyone's musical ability. Like every song kind of everyone kind of had their take, their take on it. And I don't know, it was a bunch of guys playing together that maybe weren't really playing together. That's just kind of how I felt about it.
Fee, your statement sparked something in my mind. So you've got this super group, and they can all, like I said before, I can't say they don't all rip because they fucking do, including the singer. My problem is what they needed in this super group was a super songwriter to write them some fucking songs and some lyrics.
Songs or lyrics?
But like, a butcher can fucking cut meat, but can he cook it? No. You need a barbecue guy to make brisket.
So it seems like your number one issue with everything so far is the lyrics.
The songwriting in general, it sucks on this. It's just the songwriting. Like, it's the you
don't like the music song, the music portion of the songs at all.
I like the bass and drums. I like the rhythm guitars, some of them. I didn't like any of the guitar solos, really. I
Oh.
didn't like the vocals because the guy had nothing to say and he was a one-trick pony on this album. And it just didn't work, man. None of it worked for me.
Okay.
None of
No,
it
I
worked.
know. I get it. Yep.
But tons, dude, uber amounts of respect for these guys as solo musicians. Uber amounts of respect, even for this fucking singer. Okay. All right. Track 8, My Kind of Woman. You're my kind of woman if you'll have me. Okay. Ed, what do you think?
Big opening. So it was a pleasant surprise that it wasn't just a guitar thing.
Yeah.
More of a simple rhythm for the song. Kind of generic for Mr. Big, I'd say. It does flow well, and more is added to the music as the song progresses, which is kind of something I appreciate and didn't notice until I was older as a musician. That I find the really good songs, and I'm not saying that this is like a really good song, but what I found that the really well written songs that I personally enjoy, each time they go through the musical progression, there's something added or something changed that's ever so slight, but it's so slight because it doesn't want you to change your opinion of the song. But by the end, you all of a sudden realize that it's really big, and I really appreciate that. But I found that this was kind of it was more noticeable in the song, I guess. It seemed like a mailed in song. The solo kind of mailed in. I do love the guitar and bass matching chords after the solo, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. It's not one of my favorites off the album.
So this song for me sounded like immediately I picked up on it. It sounds like Tesla. Too Late for Love or Modern Day Cowboy are kind of a
Really?
combination of both. Only not as good. With extremely generic lyrics. But at least his vocals had some bite on this one. Like he was bringing it on this one. He had some, and I liked it. But every song on this album, it feels kind of like he's trying to impersonate someone else. Like this one, impersonating the guy from fucking Tesla. We get fucking a lot of Sammy Hagar. A lot of Sammy Hagar. We get like Fee was saying, some kind of like Kenny Loggins, like a fucking off Danger Zone. I don't know, man. This guy just wasn't doing it for me. But he did bring it on this song. And I thought the song rocked. It was pretty good. I'll never listen to it again. But it was pretty good. Dave, what did you think?
All right, it's a rockin' riff. I felt like it sounded a little like 80s Rush or something like that. Got a little of that vibe in there. But I feel like it was written to put in a movie soundtrack. That's totally what it sounds like to me. And the song is just okay.
We're getting a lot of that movie soundtrack popping up in this. Fee, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, kind of the same movie soundtrack. I thought the verse was kind of cool. I think I just liked the way his voice sounded during the verse. I don't know.
Me too.
I didn't really have a lot on this one. Like I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it either. I'm
with you.
Can you guys tell me on this one? I was having trouble finding where any backing vocals in this. Were there any backing vocals in this or no?
Ed?
I don't remember.
There are, but it's more of I guess more of an octave than a harmony.
Okay.
I mean, my ear is not what it used to be, that's for sure. But it's not layered. The vocals weren't layered like they were in a lot of the album, especially the next song.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion.
Gotcha.
The enthusiasm. Just, okay. A little too loose or a little too loose?
Loose.
No.
Mr. I can't read or write.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for noticing.
Let's give you some more names to butcher. I love it. I love you. I love you, Dad. I do love you. Yeah.
Oh, God, I love it. Okay. A little too loose. And go.
It's a little too loose because there's two O's.
Okay. Yeah. Look at
that. What's funny is I didn't love this song previously, and hearing it now, I actually like it a lot more. and here's why. It's different than the rest of the album. Really
Yes.
different. I think I love the deep Billy Gibbons style. And I may be wrong, but I could have swore when I saw him live, it's Billy Sheehan that sings this that
Oh,
opening part, right, Dave?
you killed
Sounds
me
like
with
it.
that. You
Yeah.
killed me with that. I wish you hadn't told me that.
Oh, I love it.
I did too.
You know, and he doubles them the entire song. There's that octave, the low octave behind Eric Martin's voice that I love it. It makes it so good. And this is kind of a rock blues pop version of a ZZ Top song.
Yeah.
Like if ZZ Top had to write a pop song that wasn't Legs, you know,
If ZZ Top wrote a song that sucked, it'd be this.
it would be this. No, I disagree. I think this is a great song. I think it would be actually a really good ZZ Top song.
It wouldn't be on Eliminator.
I'm a big fan of the song. It's a great tempo. The music, the harmonies throughout, especially exiting the solo. The drum fills in the song are really good too. I think it's just a really well done song, and it's different than the rest of the album.
Yeah. So this song started off and it was a soothing change of pace to my ears. Like immediately it was like, oh, the cat has stopped screaming. And I get this warm, like Billy Sheehan vocal. I thought it was this guy. I was like, oh my God, this guy can do something else. Clearly he can't because Billy Sheehan sang it. And immediately I liked this song more than any song. I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. All right, here we go. I wrote I didn't hate this song. The vocals were good. The lyrics were at least written about something kind of cool. Like we get a little rock and roll story here. Some slightly gritty vocals, but I think it's funny that I'm liking this song for these reasons and the singer has been eliminated. I get it, he's singing. But it leads me to believe that maybe this story was written by somebody who actually had some life experience. It was like, hey, this happened to me when I was in this town on the road, ba, ba, ba. And I was picking up on the story and I was actually interested. And I actually remember what this song was about. And I can't remember anything about anything else on this album. So tip of the hat to A Little Too Loose. I thought it was pretty good. Dave, what did you think of this one?
All right, the fake blues song. It's okay. I thought the guitar riff had an interesting use of open strings. You know, kind of a little weird sound there. But what was up with in the 80s? Every band thought they were a fake blues man. You know,
Yeah.
like you have these guys, and you have Mick Mars come out, and Warren DeMartini, and Richie Sambora. They put a slide on their finger and put on the hat, and it's like, oh, I'm playing the blues. what was going on there? So,
But
I don't know.
let me interject here because one guy that I have bashed on this show, Mick Mars, for his lead playing.
I love
out
Mick
of
Mars,
the-
though. I'll say that.
Yeah, out of the group of guys you just said that were faking to be blues guitar players, I feel like Mick Mars might be the one guy who really was playing slide guitar in the 70s and was forced to put that slide back in his guitar case until it became vogue. And then he pulled it out, and I feel like he was doing it pretty good. I think Mick Mars is a pretty fucking good slide guitar player, actually. So,
Oh,
funny
yeah,
you said that.
He's probably got the most blues credentials out of any of those guys. But
Yeah, because he's 100.
still.
He was around when it was conceived.
1932.
He was at the crossroads.
He was at the crossroads and he lost the bet. Oh shit. Fee, what do you think about A Little Too Loose?
Yeah, this was one that, you know, I actually rated higher than a 5 out of 10. I thought, a little bluesy, nothing wrong with that. A couple of times it felt offbeat to me, like something was incomplete or missing, like they weren't finishing a note or something. I don't know. Something just felt a little off to me at a couple times throughout the song. But my main note is if I was in a bar, I could drink to this. I could, this would be a pretty cool tune live, I think. It's good.
This is why I like Fee's input, because he doesn't know why it felt like that to him, but I do. The drummer was making some the drummer was making some interesting choices in this song where he would lean on the hi-hats, right? And he would decide not to hit the snare drum. And it was a little jarring. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes these guys were making some choices that I did not get. And it did. I was listening to it and thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, what? So what? Where's the beat? Like, what happened there? And then he'd do it. And I'd be like, oh, there it is. Then, oh, no, he didn't do it. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I heard it too.
Okay.
Track 10. I love this one because I wrote some really great shit about it. So, Ed, Road to Run. Let's hear it. What did you think?
Cool acapella opening.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Our notes. Our notes. I freaking hate a wimpy acapella intro, and this was extra wimpy. That's my first note.
The pentatonics have arrived.
Oh boy, the music is really good in this. The offbeat stuff, the groove, the small lead parts by each member, it all works for me, and I think it all works for the song. I think the chorus is really good. This is actually one of my favorites on the album.
Woo! All right. I love this podcast. P.S. I'll listen to this one twice. So Road to Run. My notes start up the exact opposite as you, as we know, because I already read them.
Road to Ruin? Yes.
Road to Ruin? Is that what it's called?
That's the name of the song, yes.
Oh, I thought it was Road to Run. Okay.
Yeah, well, you're so detail-oriented, it's unbelievable.
I missed the I. Okay. The I is silent. I friggin' hate the wimpy acapella intro. Okay. Well, there is an I in Ruin, right?
Yes. Oh my God. You are the typical person where I just like this, so I am going to half-ass everything from this point on. I love it. I love you so much. I really do.
I gave this my all. I didn't sandbag this. Okay.
This is like hole 17 out of friggin' the 18 holes that we're golfing. And you go, okay, contest starts now.
Oh God, I'm sweating right now, guys. So this is another song about rise with lyrics like hair, sexy legs. This had me literally fucking tapping out. I'm like, fuck you. When he sang hair, sexy legs, I literally said out loud, fuck you. Fuck you. You don't know how to write. Like you're telling me there's nothing else you could come up with than hair, sexy legs. I'll write you something right now better than that. I won't, but I could. It did have a great guitar solo. And in this one in particular, Billy Sheehan was accenting it with some of those licks I was talking about. So you'd hear Paul Gilbert, playing this great rock guitar solo, and then Billy Sheehan would come up with a couple of like, and I was like, oh, that shit's that's on point. Really good. But this song, again, not for me. But I want to say something. I feel like there is a great album somewhere in this album, but it just was not going to happen with the lyrics they handed this guy to sing, and with Paul Gilbert just overreaching, trying to just prove how great he was. We all know. So, yeah. Dave, what'd you think of Road to Ruin with an I?
Well, we're back to kind of rocking. Pre-chorus, I thought was really great. Most of these songs are fine, but, not great. The sweep guitar lick at the end of the solo is ridiculously over the top. The rest of it was pretty nice and tasteful, and then he just, which I didn't mind it, but yeah, it was a lot. It was cool.
Yeah. Dave, why was he so like trying to just let everybody know how great we know it's Paul Gilbert? You're the best on the planet besides Steve Vai. We know.
That's the thing. He just puts it out there,
But that's where you go the opposite direction and you blow everybody away by doing something they don't know you can do.
But
maybe you can't do it.
If you weren't a musician and followed that, did Fee know Paul Gilbert was a guitar virtuoso? He did not.
Yeah, nobody knew about that guy.
So back then it was all about the guitar. That's why you have all these guitar gods. And then the 90s came in and they all went away.
It's funny. There's actually a guy who played in a band with one of my old bass players called Slam Bango, and his name is Dawson. He went to GIT and got his degree and learned from Paul Gilbert. And this guy Dawson is fucking great guitar player. So yeah, interesting fact. Okay, everybody talk. Fee, did you talk about this yet? No.
No, I don't really need to though.
Okay. All right. So the final track on this is To Be With You. We've all heard it a million times. I was just going to say I fucking hate this song and that's at the end, but I've got something for you. So Ed, what did you think of this one?
I'll start off by saying it was a #1 hit on the Billboard Top 100.
Doesn't make it right.
Makes it popular and means it made money.
So was Crack, and it also made a lot of money.
There was nothing right about Crack. But
okay.
The acoustic guitar, I think, the sound of the acoustic guitar for me was super eloquent, full, and rich. It was probably one of the better acoustic guitar sounds of that era, because there were a lot of bad ones, and this one just stuck out to me as a good one. The vocals, clean, clear, full. The song is super catchy. You can't not sing it. I think it's a true ballad in the time of only power ballads, because there's nothing power about it, and it was a nice change. And I think that's a lot of the reason why it had the success it did. It was different than what was being written then for ballads.
So To Be With You, Ed, of course, this is like the other ballad we were talking about a few songs ago that I can't even remember anything. That's not a great 80s, 90s ballad. This is like, if you're going to do it, this is how you do it. You hear the song one fucking time and you got to go to therapy to get it out of your head. That's how well it's written. I mean, this is a hit. Yeah. This is how you write a hit. Doesn't mean I like it. I hated the song then. I hate the song now. I'll always hate it. It's beyond wimpy. No woman wants to be with a man that says crap like this. It's a poop-flavored soft-serve ice cream cone that I don't want to lick. I listened to it twice for the podcast. The second time I watched the video, and it made me hate it even more. Oh, I fucking hated this fucking song. I'll never listen to it again. Dave, what did you think of this song?
I didn't mind it back in the day, but now it's on, adult contemporary radio and, yuck. This was the third single off the album. Very classy acoustic guitar solo, a couple nice flourishes in there, which I thought was nice. They had everything very dry in the recording. They didn't bury it in reverb and effects like most of the other stuff in the 80s. So I guess it, helped it to stand out a little bit. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, it's the fucking lyrics, man, to kill this fucking song. The music is fine. The music is great.
The lyrics are really wussy.
Yeah, I mean, the melodies are what sell this song. It's not the fucking words. The reason everybody hates this fucking song is because the words are so gay. Oh, fuck. Fee, what did you think of this song? I know you listen to it at night before you go to sleep.
Oh, no. This is another FBI watch list song for me. Like, this is fucking creepy as it gets. I can't do it.
Wait a minute. Shall we revisit some of the lyrics and Rat Out of the Cellar?
Yes, let's. Give me one.
Different
times. Creepy?
Yeah.
Creepy.
Okay.
Yeah. This guy's singing about little girls, begging little girls to be with him. I don't know. I just don't. But, like, musically, like, it's solid. The musicianship is solid, but the other one, like, delete this off your phone or you made another watch list.
This is like Winger, fucking, like, I'm 35, she's only 17. It's like, what are you fucking talking about, dude? What are you fucking talking? I mean, I get it. It rhymes and it's catchy, but maybe you shouldn't be singing it. It's fucked
super
up.
Catchy, but you're a creeper if you're singing it.
Yeah, so is gonorrhea. I don't want it. Okay. Let's...
You beat me to that joke by half a second.
Did I? I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So we did it. We broke this album down. So let's do favorite song I'd cut. My favorite song is, I don't even want to pick one. My Kind of Woman, I guess. Is that one of the songs on the album? And the song I'd cut would be fucking To Be With You. Just, fuck this song. Fuck
The
this
number
song.
one song off the album. The
Yeah, gotta
biggest
go.
hit almost
Gotta
of that
go.
year.
Gotta go. Gotta go. Bye-bye. Get it off there.
Well, at least now we know why you didn't have the success that they had.
I had plenty of success.
You didn't know how to get cheese, Des. You need to get cheese.
I got no cheese. My cheese is fucking lacking. Okay, Dave, what would you do here? What would you cut?
Favorite track, Green Tinted 60s Mind. I just thought the riff was so unusual. And it seems that's the song that's the most them, and not generic.
Gotcha.
I would cut CDFF Lucky This Time, just because meh. And the lyric says something about baby, open your heart. And it's just too close to Just Take My Heart. So somebody should have picked up on that.
Oh, they did. They were
just didn't
borrowing. They were borrowing all over the place.
Yeah.
God. Ed, which is your favorite and which would you cut?
Very similar to Dave. Green Tinted 60s Mind, I think, is definitely my favorite. And funny because there were two songs that were on my cut list that I had to pick from. One was Lucky This Time, but I went with Never Say Never because I just think it's the most generic for them.
Okay, fair enough. And Fee, which would you call your favorite track, your favorite? And which would you cut?
I like Green Tinted 60s Mind. I think that's probably the best on the album for me overall. And cutting, I'd have to go with the super creepy, super pervy, fucking daddy, brother, lover, little boy. Like,
so
just
weird.
That's gotta go.
Gotta go.
Gotta
too.
go.
I'm with. You know what? I'm gonna replace mine with you. I think that one has to go just because of the fucking title.
Yeah, that should
I'm
be
with you.
illegal. That should be illegal to like be out there at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not good.
Let's take that one off the album. As far as that '60s tinted thing, I think you're all fucked in the head. We're fucking 5 hours from the fucking fun park, and you want to bail out? No. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. If we had to cut a member and replace them, I will start this off. I would cut Eric Martin out of this band like a cancer, and I would replace him with Jeff Keith from Tesla. I think this would be a much better album with his lyrics and his vocals. I think it would be a tougher album. I think it would have more cred. I think it would have deeper stories. And I think we might actually have a good album here.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, it was either him or Sammy Hagar, but I thought Hagar was too obvious since he was obviously trying to be Sammy Hagar. Dave, what do you got?
All right. Of course, Billy Sheehan, Paul Gilbert get to stay. Leave Pat Torpey alone, since he is no longer with us. Guess what? Eric Martin is a great singer, but he's a little dishwater. He's not dangerous.
Oh, he's not.
I'd love to see. No, nothing personal, but he doesn't seem that way. I'd love to see somebody a little more personality, like David Lee Roth. Who may not have the vocal chops to pull off the ballads so much, but he'd be a lot more fun.
Dave, that was my first choice, David Lee Roth, but I actually was trying to find the Tesla song that I thought their song sounded like. And while listening to Modern Day Cowboy and Too Late for Love, I was like, oh, wait a second. This guy would probably stick the landing on this album. So, but I love David Lee Roth too. Great pick.
Yeah.
Ed, what do you got?
I agree with both of you. Definitely Eric Martin's the weak link in this band. However, I went down a different road for a couple different reasons. I would change out Paul Gilbert only because they did change out Paul Gilbert for Richie Kotzen, and I love those two albums. But really, I'd actually like to hear what Jason Becker would have done replacing Paul Gilbert.
Interesting. Where would our listeners know him from, just for reference?
God, I don't. You'd have to help me with this one, Dave. He was one of those guitar virtuosos back in the day with Gilbert and Marty Friedman and
Shrapnel Records.
Yeah,
he was in a band with Marty Friedman called Cacophony.
That's
and then he played with David Lee Roth on the Little Ain't Enough album after Skyscraper.
Great guitar work on that album too. Then unfortunately, I believe he has ALS. Which is a shame because he was a real great up and coming guitar player, in my opinion.
He's still making music though. He's still with us.
He is, yeah.
Oh, cool. Hey, nice facts on that one, Dave. Jesus, kid's got some fucking knowledge. Okay. I'll be honest, I never heard of him. That's why I asked. I was like, tell the listeners like I knew. Like tell our dumb listeners where they might know him from. I know,
Because-
but I was like, fucking someone tell me who this guy is, please. Oh, shit. Okay. Pete, go ahead. Who do you got?
I'm with Dave on this one 100%. I felt this band needed a bit more personality to it, and Diamond David Lee Roth is the guy to do it. So
Okay.
I liked it.
Well, that would actually be a 3 on Diamond Dave because I did have him first. So sounds to me like Dave gets the gig. I'd like to hear
So
that
you
record.
would like to see the David Lee Roth band redo Eat 'Em and Smile as Mr. Big's Lean Into It.
Wait, what?
I know, right? It's
Because that's what it sounds like you're saying, Des.
So I probably still hate it because it's fucking just instead of having Steve Vai, we have Paul Gilbert playing the wrong solos. So, okay. Let's do some final thoughts and some watch scores on this. I'll go. These are obviously great musicians. And yes, the singer has a very strong voice, but this was everything I hated about hair metal at the time of its release. It has zero attitude, horrible lyrics, and the songs are just forgettable. In my humble opinion, this is a sellout, generic, corporate, yacht rock garbage album, and I will never listen to 1 second of this album ever again. And I want to give this like a ridiculously low score, but I have fucking integrity on this show, and they are great musicians.
Oh my god, that might be the funniest thing you've ever said.
So, Dave, what did you give Nothing Shocking?
Let me check on.
No. Desi, what is your score?
Okay, my score is 31 watts. This is a piece of shit. It sucks a wet
Wow.
fart. Yeah, sucks a wet fart. Sucks a wet fart. Dave, what are your final thoughts and your watt score on this album?
All right. Great musicianship. Some good songs on here. I feel like these guys are a little too squeaky clean. Like your overprotective mom was okay with you listening to this band because they seemed like nice boys.
Oh.
Those ballad singles didn't help. And they weren't scaring any parents like, Guns N' Roses or Wasp or something like that,
Right.
They needed a few more hits, maybe some outside songwriters. I give it a 66.
66. All right. And Dave, just what was the score on Jane's Addiction? Just so I don't look like a total, like I'm sandbagging this album.
My
You are.
score on Jane's Addiction was 37.
37. So
Overall,
we're in,
55.67.
okay, and that was a dangerous album. So this can't even
What?
stand with that. Nothing Shocking, dangerous. Those lyrics are dangerous. Jane says that one song alone crushes this entire album. Crushes it.
No.
So, oh yes.
And is it that one song dangerous? Yeah, but that whole fucking album is like whales having sex.
One of the songs is written about Ted Bundy. It's dangerous.
I don't give a shit what it was written about. It sounds like whales having sex.
Oh, here it goes. It does sound like whales having sex in spots. Good sex. Okay. Ed, let's hear your delusional thoughts about this album.
All right. Well, I like how you like to say that I have delusional thoughts, but I actually have a process and not
Okay.
just an opinion when I give a watch score.
Okay, let's
So-
hear it.
My process is the fact that, like a lot of these albums that we pick, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 really good songs on it. Okay. In my opinion, there's one really great song and a bunch of okay songs and 1 or 2 just for the band as the band writes the songs. Okay. I'm comparing the album to the songs individually in the album.
Mhm.
They got pigeonholed into the Here genre. Okay, is this a safe album? Absolutely, it's a safe album. Okay, but also at this point, these guys probably also wanted to make $1, so you write a safe album. Okay,
Sure.
but this is not Enough's Enough. This is not friggin' Winger that I actually like. This is not the end. This doesn't fit in with the timeline of the Here bands that they're compared to too much. Okay, individually, some of the best musicians ever. Like I said previously, it is safe. However, knowing their catalog, and how much I liked the first album to then put out this, especially Green Tinted 60s Mind, which I think is just a brilliant song. I think this deserves significantly higher score. And to compare it to some of the other albums and how I rated them, I think I have the score for me personally to fit right in there. And I gave it a 90.25 watts.
Dude, you are fucking at home smoking the worst, like, processed chemical crack ever today. What did you say, 90 something?
90.25.
90.25 on a song
Yes.
that you just said has one good song on it.
Has one great song on it. But
What
I think
song was that? Oh yeah, the 90s.
Green Tinted, yeah. And I'll tell you why, because I think overall they're better than we've described. And I think the music itself in musicianship is just beyond a lot of these other songs we've talked about. I mean, look, I gave Rat Out of the Cellar 87.62, and I think this is a little less than 3 points higher.
Oh,
that's my opinion.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome to it. So the guitar solo in She's Only 17, epic guitar solo. That's
Epic.
great.
Oh, dude.
It's a great
yeah,
guitar solo.
He's
It's a great guitar solo.
again another band with phenomenal musicians that just like, what the fuck did you put out?
And if given the choice, like if I was in solitary confinement in some like horrible prison where they were torturing me and they were like, you have to listen to like the Enough's Enough album or you have to listen to this album on a loop for like 2 days, it would have to be Enough's Enough. It just would. It just would. I mean, at least the songs had some choruses and were catchy. So
No way.
I mean, think about the circumstances I just laid out for you. Okay, Fee. Final thoughts in Watt's score on Mr. Big's Lean Into It.
Yeah. When you said earlier, I went into this hoping to add something to the collection. That unfortunately did not happen. So I'm really looking forward to deleting it off of my playlist. So overall, I thought, musically, the musicianship, like you guys were saying, is solid, but everything else just, it did nothing for me. A lot of these songs are just not memorable for me. 2 or 3 I can kind of, look back on, but my overall score was a 56.
Oh, wow. That's, dude, Ed, you have to be happy with that because
it's kind of what I figured Fee would give it. I know I've known Fee a long time. I know his musical styles, and that's kind of where I
Ed, are you sure you want to go with that 92.5? I mean, that's you're going to regret this.
I gave Rat Out of the Cellar 87.62. I gave David Bowie 84.
This is better than David Bowie's Let's Dance.
I gave it better than Eat 'Em and Smile at 89.
Oh.
That let's not forget Dave gave a 98 to.
Every album you just said crushes this album, including Eat 'Em and Smile. At least Eat 'Em and Smile had Yankee Rose and,
I disagree.
David Lee Roth? Yeah, we're putting David Lee Roth against this jabroni. I don't even know what the fuck his name is. For that reason alone, Eat 'Em and Smile is better. Just that. just because David Lee Roth was the singer.
Okay, so let's also add, you want to give me shit, but you gave Jane's Addiction Nothing Shocking an 85.
And I regret that. It should have been a 95. I regret that score.
So you think it should have been better? While both Dave and myself gave it a 37 and 45. So you can go fuck yourself because now you're just being a hypocrite.
I am. Dude, I think Delin said those exact same words to me last night on the podcast. we're
What,
talking
hypocrite?
something with "fuck you" and in it and hypocrite or something. She, yeah. So all right, I won't get into the details. If you want to hear about the domestic abuse I suffered at home with being slapped and punched and had the finger on my face, go listen to the episode we did last night on Hey, did you ever see that movie? You won't be disappointed. Okay. Ed, will you please calculate those scores and go ahead and add yours in too. And let us know how many watts this album is pushing.
Yes. So after totaling everything together, and remember this is now 4 verse 3.
Yes.
This has come in at a watt score of 60.81 watts.
I'm fine with that. And Dave, where does that score put this on the Breaking Vinyl Billboard chart?
Okay, that puts us at probably 14, 13, 12, 11, probably about number 10. I don't have the updated chart in front of me, but it's right in between Velvet Revolver, Contraband, and just above Hoobastank's self-titled album.
Man, I don't know which one I would rather listen to, Hoobastank or Mr. Big. I didn't like either of them. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it would be Hoobastank. I think Hoobastank's album was better than this. I fucking hated this album, as we know. Okay. Dave, you have the next pick. Will you please don't make me listen to something horrible. Give us something with some fucking hair on its sack, man. What do you got for us and our listeners for next week?
All right. Well, from 1982, in honor of Bernie Marsden, who just passed away, we have Whitesnake, Saints and Sinners.
Oh, fuck yeah. There you go, baby. That's an album. Whitesnake, Saints and Sinners. Is this with Slide It In?
No, I believe that is slided in the album.
Oh, you're right.
But it does have the original
what
version.
Gave it away? What gave it away?
It does have the original version of Here I Go Again and one or two other songs that they would, re-record later on with other
David
guys.
Coverdale's a badass, man. He's one of these guys that wasn't a hair metal guy that transitioned into hair metal and made a career out of it, but he was like fucking Bon Scott in the day. He was like a badass dude, and I like that a lot. And Fee, will you join us again next week?
Yeah, if you'll have me, sure, I'm in.
Absolutely. So your part on the show is going to be saying things that make me laugh because I think you're funny as fuck.
Thanks.
It's also great that Fee's not a musician, so we kind of get the average fan.
Yeah,
not that he might not be the fan of the music, but an average person who's not a musician's opinion.
Alternate and Fee, you'll cut your teeth on this as you go. You'll start picking up on some of the music, Jaga Jaga and stuff. And I will give you the pick next week, since you will be in that rotation there, and then I will pick a good album for us all to review after that. And I have
I can't wait for your pick, man.
You know what? I'm going to tip my hat. We're going to be doing Vain, No Respect. It's going to be an album.
You are fucked. You are
dude,
fucked.
100 watts right now.
Yeah, 100 watts. You ready to hear some guitar playing that's going to blow your fucking mind?
Oh, my
there it is.
God.
Okay. All right, guys. So that's it. Until next week, take those records out of the sleeve and let the music breathe.